And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. It is Wednesday. We've made it to the midweek, and it is chilly today. We'll put it in chilly and not downright cold. We're 31. That wind chill makes it feel like 23 outside as you begin your day. So bundle up. Be prepared for all of that. We'll tell you all about the severe weather that is possibly in the forecast. And again, we'll put this more of a threat to the northern portion of Mississippi than East Mississippi. We got all those details coming up here in a few moments. Already 6:30. We'll have the show coming in this morning. We'll have a special guest this morning. Talk about scouting. All of that's on the way. Plus, Odie will be in town. Should be here in just a little bit. We got so much more shaking. It's all on the way this morning. Let's go get a good word as we go to Collinsville today. As always, let's go see what Brother Ben has to say.
Listen to this truth. You have to take care of what takes care of you. That's wisdom that I gleaned from today's word of wisdom found in Proverbs 27, which says, "Know well the condition of your flocks and give attention to your herds. For riches do not last forever, and does not a crown endure to all generations? When the grass is gone and the new growth appears, and the vegetation of the mountains is gathered, the lambs will provide your clothing, and the goats the price of a field. There will be enough goat's milk for your food, for the food of your household, and maintenance for your girls." Again, to sum all that up, you have to take care of what takes care of you. This wisdom was written from a perspective of people who were herdsmen, both sheep and goats, which is really common in Bible days. People had to give attention to their flocks and know their condition because their lives depended on them. Their human welfare was connected to the flock's welfare. It's where they got their clothing, their milk, their meat, their ability to buy a field and to pay their employees. It was their livelihood, so they had to be sure to care for their flocks. You have to take care of what takes care of you. Now, I'm guessing the number of us here who are shepherds or goat herds would be few, but the principle expands to several things in life. What are the things that take care of us, that we depend on for our livelihood? Well, we can list a lot of things, but 4 things come to the forefront of my mind: your body, the environment around you, your spouse, and your job. So you need to think and ask, what can I do to treat my body well? What can I do to take care of the air, land, and water around me? What can I do to bless and nourish my spouse? What can I do to make my company the best it can be so I'll have a job for years to come? Beloved, you have to take care of what takes care of you. When you get this mentality, you will experience abundance and blessing. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. Grab another cup. Might need that extra cup of coffee today. Maybe you're more of a hot chocolate person this time of day. Got to have my coffee. I hope you get yours to get your day started. We even have some folks that lean toward the caffeine side. 31 as we have a wind chill of 23 as you're waking up, beginning your day. 45 is what is projected, but we'll have a 20-mile-an-hour gust that jumps up, so it'll make it feel a lot colder than 45 throughout the day. Just be prepared for that. Thicker jacket if you've got to be on the outside for any length of time. As we begin our headline Shaping America today, this guy's been missing for 3 weeks. Oregon is where he went missing. He was a photographer. I guess you would call a survivalist is what they say. His body has been found most likely drowned. How sad that is. I always know that, let everybody know where you are when you head off. It's one of those things. We hate to have to report those. Any Girl Scout fans out there? Okay, let's narrow it down to the Girl Scout cookie fans. They're getting rid of 2 flavors at the end of the year. Let's see here. S'mores, I thought that was real popular. S'mores will be going away, and something called Toast Yay. Never had that one. S'mores I have, but it looks as though those will be fading after this year. Girl Scout cookies, those still sell as well as they used to? It used to be a real big deal. Not so sure anymore. I've seen the Boy Scouts selling other things lately. Do you remember George Santos? He was a senator from New York, had to step down. He's having to pay restitution. Have you ever heard of Cameo? He owes $400,000 he lost in a lawsuit. Cameo is a website where a celebrity can go on and do happy birthday wishes to people. He says he doesn't have any money despite earning $400,000 last year from just that site alone. Of doing, hey, how are you doing? Happy birthday, happy anniversary. 400, that's pretty strong there. Cameo, it's something neat. Let's see here. The Titans, Nashville, Tennessee. They're going to be getting a new general manager. They have fired their new one after 2 years. Guess it boils down to you have to win to keep that position. He's out. The Seattle is where we go next. A police officer was responding, I believe this was a year and a half ago, to a scene. He struck and killed somebody along the way. He has been fired from his job as a police officer. I don't think he's been charged, but he was terminated after that, after an investigation. San Francisco 49ers. Do y'all remember when this happened? His name is Ricky Parcell. He had left the game, was walking out, was mugged. He was shot. Y'all remember that? He's got much more of a forgiving heart than I would have in a situation like this. He said he forgives the person that shot him. He was a teenager and hopes to meet him one day. Like I said, I'm not in that situation, but boy, that seems like a tough one there. Don King, a name I haven't heard in quite some time. He's 93 now, and of course we all know Don from the famous hair. Do y'all remember that? He's being sued by a promoter for $3 billion. Odds of them winning are slim, but they are suing him just the same. Ski resorts. People that have saved up their money and gone on this, it turns out in Minnesota, as they go to these places, they have to have security. They've been on strike and lines are longer and people aren't getting to ride. Skiers are way upset over this. Have you ever been skiing? I'm not sure I'd be able to stand up on them. It's kind of like roller skates. I couldn't do that as a kid, but I've never been around enough snow other than a sled on the back of a four-wheeler to know anything about snow. You might would like it. Some people do that. Eric Adams has more issues. You know, the mayor of New York City, who we all thought by being an ex-policeman might have some common sense. Well, we hadn't seen a lot of that since he's been in there, and federal prosecutors say they may have uncovered additional criminal conduct. Didn't say he was convicted, but additional criminal conduct. We'll see where all this leads. He still claims he's innocent. And you are until proven guilty in a court of law. The hush money trial. Still don't get this. If two adults agree upon something in court, I'll give you this. If you go away, then it should be over. All of this has been drug out, but a New York judge is allowing a sentencing to go forward coming up this Friday on Trump. We'll see where this goes. JetBlue, Fort Lauderdale. Have y'all heard this story this morning yet? 2 people have found deceased inside the cargo, the landing gear. Most likely stowaways. Fire rages in L.A. We posted this just a little bit ago. Fire rages in L.A. Celebrity homes are being burned. People are in fear and running for their lives. I even saw a video this morning for firefighters to get in where people were trying to get out. They had to abandon their cars. Firefighters are taking bulldozers now to push those cars out of the way so they can get to fight the fires. It's a huge fire. I didn't realize it had gotten that big. We'll find out what all of this means. You've been paying attention to the speech that we got yesterday. Facebook, Meta, however you want to say that, Mark Zuckerberg gave a speech. In the past, anything that you say could and would be held against you. If you posted a wrong picture, you would be fined and put in jail. They're saying they're going to lax things at Facebook. We'll see how that goes, and we'll wait to read all the new policies as they roll out. Yes, I'm sure Trump has something to do with this. And it would probably have something to do with revenue as X is climbing, and to some degree, or they wouldn't be doing this. North Carolina, if it's true, we hope justice is served. North Carolina Supreme Court has blocked the certification of a Democrat as a winner of a close high court race. She's winning. The Democrat is leading by 700 votes. Her opponent says that there were 60,000 votes cast that were illegal. They're not going to certify it, and it looks as though there's going to be an investigation now into those 60,000 votes to see if they were actually legal. Wouldn't that be something? We'll see what becomes of that. I'm sure there was a lot of money spent on that election. Y'all know how they are nowadays. Mike Johnson. There was a lot of talk about this in the beginning as America had its first transgender congressperson head off to the House. In the House, he plans on keeping the bathroom ban, the transgender bathroom ban. We'll see what becomes of all of that. More on the way as we'll get into your forecast next. You see what we've got to offer on this. What happens over the next few days? We'll tell you all of that and more coming up in just a second. Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. As we begin this, if this is your first time, welcome. Glad to have you aboard with us. Let's get into our forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Here's our projected outlooks from back in 2019. I left one out there. High of 77 today. Back in 1942, we had a cool day. It was 10 back in 42. Still a few folks who could remember that. As we move ahead here to take a look at what we've got, this is forecasted for today. 45, we'll see 42 across Columbus Air Force Base. Down through the Delta, we should see 40 to 44-ish. Warmer toward Hattiesburg and the Mississippi Gulf Coast as we'll see temperatures rise into the upper 40s in those areas. Demopolis should see 43 there at the river. Birmingham still in the 40s at 40 is what we're projecting there. Now, as we look to this, and we're going to go to radar and look at this together, cold weather is approaching. This is what we've got. If you'll look closely at this map, this is going to be pretty close as to what is happening now as we glance across at all of this. Elevated threats. We do expect to see some snow and things that could stick as we get into Noxubee County. Winston County will most likely have this. Areas in the extreme northern portion of Neshoba County, we'll see some of this. We'll also see some in Leake County. As we go south of Philadelphia and anywhere south of Scuba, you'll see a flur. You probably will see some sleet from here to there, but for the most part, anywhere south of this area and this yellow here is most likely going to be rain, and lots of it. We've had a temperature change in what is forecasted. We were originally seeing somewhere between 28 to 29 all through this area. It has now moved up a few degrees to where it's going to be at the freezing degree mark. Now, let me remind y'all, this is Mother Nature, and anything can happen. That 1 degree temperature change could make this an icy, wet mess for us. As of this moment, this area is going to see mostly rain. Is what we're going to see in East Mississippi. Again, this northern portion that watches the show from Winston County, Attala County, and Leake, and again, anywhere north of Philadelphia should have some concern to watch this. Now, you don't get into the level 2, the bigger threat, until you reach Winston County and Noxubee County. We even have areas there of a level 3 in the extreme northwestern portions, Tunica, those areas up near Memphis. It's going to be bad in those areas. You will not be able to travel north of the area come Friday morning. It's going to be a mess. But as of now, and again, anything can change. We're going to watch this weather closely. It's going to be a big rain event for us is what it looks like in East Mississippi and West Alabama. The northern portions will have the severe weather is what we think. Again, I urge you to check back with us, and we're going to watch this carefully. Let's look at radar. Let me pull this up and show y'all what we have here as we pop up. all of this area here, Stark Vegas, West Point, all these areas are now under a winter storm watch is what we have. Back to our left over here, winter storm warning, and this is, as you'll see here, let me pull the big picture out here. This is Arkansas with this, and areas back into northern Texas, Tyler, Sherman, Texas, even a little bit there in Oklahoma for the most part. But that is that defining line just north of Kosciuszko and just north of Winston, to where it will change from this area is going to get some snow to this is horrific up here. That's what we're watching. This is going to go all the way into the area around Murfreesboro, Nashville, these areas here. Again, this becomes a level 3. Let me see if I can pull this up. And I think I can grab something and show it. I should have done this to begin with, shouldn't I? And it's not going to be on there. They're updated. Yeah, there it is. All right, let me pull this up. This is what the National Weather Service is showing us here. The level 2 area there, right across there. And then as you get into this northern part of the state, that's going to be level 3. You will not be able to travel in those areas. It will be pretty serious there. So we'll see a high chance, heavy snow possible, sleet, some freezing rain mixed in with that. Dangerous travel anywhere here north of you. Port, Tupelo, Corinth, South Haven, Tunica, Oxford. You won't want to travel in those areas. This is elevated. It's going to be risky here as we get into these areas here around Winston County. As we get here, though, it's what we're watching is most likely going to be a big rain event, is what we think. Again, it can change, can it, Odie? In a moment's notice. One temperature degree down, and we're going to have just a rain event at this point. Should it go down a little bit more, we could have that chance of ice and other things. We're going to stay behind the scenes and watch this carefully over the next 48 hours to make sure that we're still on target with this. We had our update a few moments ago. The National Weather Service will release something probably a little bit around lunch today. We'll go back and revisit this and tell you what we find out on all the above when it comes to the weather situation. Let's get into what we know about, let's see, let's get back to the cold weather. Let's look at this, because it is cold weather temperatures of what we've got. Now, the Alabama side, I didn't show this of what the National Weather Service over in Alabama is showing here. Let me pull this up. This is basically it as you get further north here. You see that? It's going to be bad in the Gadsden area, and this is that area here that we've got at a level 2 in Mississippi, and then this is this area here that's going to get that level 1 to where we could get something, but most likely will turn into rain is what we're expecting from the National Weather Service. So here's our extended look. Let's look at our forecast here for the next 7 days. 45 today. Burr. 20. But we're going back and forth, as you'll see. The National Weather Service has now got this at 32. I'll go back here in just a second, make sure that this is, matter of fact, let's just do it now. Let's don't postpone something we can look at and find out. I want to make sure they had updated something that I'm not aware of here. Let's go back to radar and the Meridian area. 7-day forecast. Let's look at that. As you'll see here, that's updated since I came in earlier this morning. This is now at 31. The National Weather Service is saying 2. You do anything differently here, we've got a problem. Major problem. Even at 31, it could become something. Who's right? We're 1 degree there in difference. Again, it is. We don't have enough of this weather to have what do you call it? Harvard University people on top of this yet. We just don't see it. It's like once every 10 years you get to look at a radar and go, well, I wonder what's going to happen.
They need a seal of approval.
Seal of approval, that's what it is. We're working on ours. Here's our temps through January the 22nd. Nothing major, nothing big here. 54 by the 15th. We're going to stay in the 50s. A couple of days there that might hit 49-ish, but it'll be basically 50s and overnight lows in the mid-30s. Every now and then it'll dip just below freezing. Nothing horrible expected toward the end of January. Should it change, we'll let you know. What's happening with the fishing today? If you're man enough, are you? Can you sit out there on the boat on the fish bank? It's cold, folks. Did we mention 20-mile-an-hour gust? Woo! Best times to fish today. It's going to be around 6:52 today to about 9 o'clock this morning. Perfect there. You'll have a minor time this afternoon from noon till about 2 o'clock. Sunset's going to happen at 5 o'clock. Sun's rising in 6:57, just a few moments from now. 7 minutes, it'll be officially up. What about those of us who can handle sitting behind a shoot house with windows, pull to, with a heater going? Best times to deer hunt today, here's what you got. 6:03 this morning until about 8:03 is perfect. Now, maybe you want to climb a tree, you can do that also. 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock is an afternoon, 12 o'clock, 11:55 to about 12:55 is a mediocre time to go. Not as good as this morning, but hey, doesn't hurt to be there. Sunrise 6:57. Again, sunset will hit at 5:06 p.m. this afternoon. Now, that's a quick look at our threat of weather. Now, I want to remind you that all through this, I have seen people, is the word trying to panic people over weather? We're not going to do that. We're going to tell you the facts of how it happens, how it lays out. I don't ever want to blow something out of proportion before it gets here. We give you what we know as it comes along, and there's just no need to panic at this point. Pay close attention if you live in North Mississippi, East Central, West Central, back over to Jackson. We're going to be okay. Morning show kicks off at 8 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, join us. Odie's here. Gang's here. We'll find out about scouting. It's all on the way at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.